What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Son of a Tech once again, and today I have yet another how-to video. Yes, it's been a while since we've done a how-to video, and today we're just going to really quickly hop in and show you guys how to get started smashing. Smashing is the process of essentially preparing a hard drive to mine a new cryptocurrency called Spacemesh. And this one is launched today. You can start meshing and get ready to mine for the next epoch right now. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Welcome back, everybody. So the coin we are talking about today is going to be Spacemesh, and this one is kind of coming onto the scene extremely well prepared, not only with potential exchange opportunities right off the bat, but a true release of no pre-mine. In this particular case, it is targeted towards gamers and home miners specifically. It is made to be utilized extremely simply, and I have run it through all of the virus total tests and etc. to make sure that it is functioning properly. If you do want to get into more complicated smeshing setups and tutorials, let me know in the comment section below. This one is going to be done on a gaming rig. This gaming rig I just recently built for QuakeCon, and I'm out at QuakeCon right now as we speak, and I will be doing a QuakeCon meetup on Saturday. So if you're in the Dallas area, check that out, and the link will be in the description below. So I'm super excited about this one, just from the perspective of doing it while I'm out at a gaming convention, and it is for basically rigs to be set up really simply. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So this is my new rig I have built up, and I will probably be doing some testing over on locals as well as playing games on it if you're interested in that. This is Spacemesh in and of itself, and it's pretty straightforward as far as the website goes. Go do your own research. We're going to primarily just cover getting in and going at it as far as getting this set up so you can start smashing right now. There is no pre-mine. The Genesis block ended at 8 a.m. on April 11th, and that is when everything comes into all of circulation. So it'll probably be a little bit for all of the circulation to begin before we start to see any exchanges have it on there, but there are exchanges already planned. Now, the website's pretty simple. You can check it out down in the description below, and you can go ahead and click the Join Network button, and you will come to a page that says Start Smashing. Right here, you can see that we do have a Windows option, a Mac OS option, Mac OS ARM for the new MacBook M1 chips, and Linux. Today, we're going to be covering the Windows install, and so we will click it, and then it will pop up and have us save it. We're going to go ahead and save it to the Downloads folder here, and then we will be ready to get smashing. Theoretically, first we need to prep a drive. So what I've done is I've installed a 500 gigabyte SSD, and this is where things can get a little bit complicated. Epochs run in blocks of 12 hours. To be included in the next epoch, you need to have your smashing done within that 12-hour window. This is part of the reason why it leans itself to smaller computer sizes, smaller hard drive sizes, but people are getting around this right now by utilizing multi-GPU rigs, etc. We'll go over that in another video. This means, though, that you need a minimum of 100 gigabytes or 100 megabytes per second read and write to go ahead and support this. And you will want to have a GPU in the rig as well to basically get smashing. What this means, of course, is the better GPU you have, the faster you can smash a drive, and the faster you can, or the more drive space you can allocate to mining on a particular setup, so, or mining on the network, right? So these are all kind of the caveats. What I have done so far is like 3090 with 500 gigabytes on an NVMe drive. That mapped really quickly. And then I am currently actually running a 6 terabyte plot with a few 3090s. Once again, we'll go over that in another video. And the more data that you have smashed, the faster you're going to earn. However, because of the block rewards being much higher right now, get whatever you can smeshed as quickly as possible first, and then worry about getting the larger smeshing done later on down the line. Because frankly, the fact is, the more of the large block rewards you can get, even with smaller hard drive space, the better you're going to be off in the future. All right, so the next thing that we really have to do here is go ahead and configure the new drive. So I'm just going to go over that with you guys in Windows, because I think that some people may not be aware of how to do this, and I think it'll just make things a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and go into our search box and look for partitions, create and format hard disk partitions. We're going to go ahead and get that opened up, and you can see here that I have my new drive, 465 terabytes. So I'm going to go ahead and right click that and say new simple volume, and then next I want to use the entire space, and I'm going to go ahead and assign it S for Spacemesh, and then we are going to just name this Spacemesh. You can also do SMH or however you want to name it. And then we're going to quick format and finish that up. Now, this is a typical SATA SSD, so we're going to get 500 gigabytes read and write. The GPU in this rig is only a 4060 Ti, so it's not going to smash extremely quickly. And I do want to get it done before the Genesis block is complete on the 11th. It is August 8th right now. So we're going to go ahead and play with this. I'll show you guys a couple things that could possibly, give you an idea of how quickly it's going to mesh. And so to do that, we're going to go ahead and run that executable that we picked up earlier. So I'm just going to go to the downloads folder and click it, and then we will get the installation options ready to go. We're going to click next. We are going to just install it on our C drive, and then we're going to click run. At this point, the app is up and running. We will need to set up our wallet. If you already have a wallet, you can open an existing wallet, and that will allow you to have the same wallet across multiple rigs if that is your intention. For today's sample, we're just going to go ahead and show you guys how to create a new wallet. We are going to do the wallet and the node to set up with smeshing. And then we're going to just select a standard wallet. There is an option for a ledger device. I don't use ledger devices, but I probably should pick one up for some tutorials. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comment section. And then we're just going to select the main network. Make sure there's not a test net or something that you're accidentally connected to, and click next. We'll enter a password, and then we will name this tutorial and click next. At this point, we will have all of our words. You can print them or copy them. I like to just copy them and then open up a notepad here. We'll paste them into our notepad. We can kind of reposition these hopefully into some form or fashion here. Boom. All right. So now we have our words up here. Just make sure you save this to a secure location. Don't save it on the machine that you are running it on. So for example, use an encrypted USB drive or use something like Nord Locker, etc. And I will just save it as SMH in my documents here for now. So at this point, we can go ahead and click next, and it will just have us select 4 of the letters to confirm we've recorded it. So for example, here, envelope goes into 7, afford goes into 9, betray goes into 8, and awesome goes into 5, and then we click done. And then we click go to wallet. So now we have our wallet set up. All we want to do now is get into smeshing. So we're going to go ahead and click the smeshing button in the top right, and then click the setup proof of space. It will automatically set it to your C drive for users. We're going to change that. So we're going to click in. We're going to click this PC. We're going to select the drive that we set up earlier, and we're going to click create new folder and just name this Spacemesh, or we could do SMH01. That way we're kind of naming it in case we want to do other plots or other smeshes. Yes, plots coming from Chia there in my head. There's 465 gigabytes of free space. I recommend leaving like 20% free space on the drive just to not overwhelm it, especially with flash memory, and that because that can reduce your life. We're going to go ahead and click next, and this is the benchmark mode, and what it is going to do is go through the benchmarks and let you know essentially which ones are going to be the quickest. But the benchmark only works for CPU. We're going to be utilizing a GPU in this particular option, so the benchmark's not that great, right? We can say test the chosen options, it'll run the test, it'll give us the speed, the recommended plot size based on how quickly you want to complete, etc., right? So this says you could do 14.5 terabytes or whatnot. We can run all benchmarks, it'll go through all the rest of them if we wanted to see all of them. And as you can see here, it uses one with 16 nonces, one with 64 nonces, 8 CPUs with 128 nonces, and 15 CPU threads with 288 nonces. The only thing that can really help you out here is the amount of nonces and hard drive speed as it goes through and tests them, and basically the gigabytes per second for the read and write speed, which obviously here is like 470, 490 megabytes per second. And so the fastest one would be here, theoretically. So we would click that to select it and then click next. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and set up the amount of space we want to utilize. This is a little bit different because you do have to consider the fact that this is going to calculate out by the units. Let's go ahead and do 100. Maybe this kind of changed a little bit. Okay, yeah. 64 gigabytes times 100 would be 625. So if we wanted to figure out like 400 and let's just do a calculator here. Let's do 465 times 0.8 for our 80%. We were going to use 372. We're going to divide that by 64. And that will equal 5.8, and we'll just go ahead and do 6 and round it up a little bit. That gives us 384 gigabytes for this particular smesh. It'll tell us that we have enough free space, and we're going to click next. Now this is where you can see the difference in speeds between the GPU, which is 101,405 hashes per second, versus a 5800X, which is only 7,797 hashes per second. This is why the benchmark's a little funny. Really what you're looking for there is the read and write speeds for that benchmark over anything else, right? So that's going to depend on if you're utilizing an NVMe over an M.2 slot, or a SATA over a SATA slot, or you're utilizing some sort of RAID configuration, or you're utilizing a traditional hard drive over SATA. All those things are going to affect that. So obviously we want to do as quickly as possible, so we're going to select the GPU and click next. At this point, it will say, go ahead and populate your address here, and it should just pick your main account for you. If you created other accounts, you can utilize those. And at that point, you'll click next. It'll give you all of the information. Make sure that your data directory is right. Make sure your data size is not over what's available on your space. And then make sure you have your GPU selected and click create data. Now you will utilize quite a bit of power as well as quite a bit of heat output on these. It does take a lot of work on these GPUs, so just keep that in mind. It will make your temperatures in your gaming room, etc., extremely hot and while it smeshes. And your goal really is to take the next epoch and try to get smashed before this epoch takes place, right? So that's really what you're looking for at the end of the day. And then you will basically begin to get your smeshes in and get going. So there you have it. There's how you can get started smeshing. It's what we've been talking about over on Locals at sonofatech.locals.com for quite some time. We started smeshing during the Genesis block, but I didn't want to release that until everything looked pretty much on the up and up and ready to go. So it's out. You guys are aware of it now. That is smeshing, and I'm super excited to see how this project plays out. If you would like to check out my crypto mining e-course, you can get a free month of Locals by going to sonofatech.com and purchasing it over there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Spacemesh down in the comment section below, and we will be covering it on this channel along with all the other coins that we cover all the time. on our new show called Blocks. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next Tuesday.